Hello again, pandas. So today I'm going to be making you a little tutorial about how to get to Nearpod and how to use it. So uh, us teachers are going to be assigning Nearpod activities, and the way that we're going to be doing that is we will send out a code on Class Dojo. Let me start by getting you to the website. So first things first. Again, start at Google, Yahoo, doesn't matter, and search for Nearpod, Nearpod, Nearpod. And when you search for Nearpod, you're going to see that it comes right up, and you can go straight to the website right there. Once you have gotten to the website, you're going to see a little code section right up here. You see this little code section right here? It says enter code. I'm going to click inside that little bubble, and I'm going to type in the code that I have for an activity that I'll be assigning to my students later. Their code may be different, so don't copy this code. It's not necessarily going to be the same code, but your teacher will send you out a code, and it's always going to be 5 letters. Okay, 5 letters, and you're going to type those in. It's not case sensitive, so you don't have to worry about that. And click that arrow. Okay, see what's going to happen next is it's going to ask you to type in your name. Please, parents, make sure that your students type in their full name. We do not want a nickname. We don't want part of their name. We want their full name. So for my purposes, I'm going to type in my name, Jeffrey Stevens. And I don't need other. There is no other needed. Now, if there are multiple teachers using the same code, you might type in your teacher's name. And in my case, I'm going to write Stevens. And that's only if multiple teachers are using the same code. Your teacher will let you know if you need to use this part of the form. All right, so I'm going to join session now. And you'll see that this is going to be a student-paced session, meaning you're going to go right on through each part. So take a look. This lesson is all about rectangles, rows, and columns. And I'm going to click on to the next part. This just tells you who made it. Okay, great. Lesson objectives. The students will. This is what we're planning on doing in this lesson. We're going to review definitions for key concepts. We're going to partition rows, make columns, and partition rectangles into same size squares. We're going to count to find the total number of squares in the partitioned rectangles. So we're doing a lot. And then you can see below here is where the Common Core Aligned Standard is. This is what our standard actually says for our standard that we're going to be covering in this lesson. Let's go on. All right, to start us off, there's a poll. This is a yes/no question. It's pretty much, do you know the difference between rows and columns? Well, I do, but maybe you don't. So I'm going to say no. And submit. Don't forget to click submit. Don't click that arrow key until you click submit. Otherwise, your answer will not be recorded. Okay? Definitions. Partition, to separate something into sections. Notice that your students are going to have to be reading. This is not going to read it to them. So if you're a parent that knows that their student struggles with reading, please be there with them. This won't take you very long, and honestly, you could probably finish each one of these lessons in under 10 minutes. The hardest part about this is probably reading it. So if you help them with this, you're taking 80% of the workload off of them and allowing them to just learn. We really appreciate that help from parents. Okay, so partition, to separate something into sections. You can see there's an image drawn to show you an example, followed by rectangle. 4-sided shape, a quadrilateral, with 2 pairs of equal sides and 4 equal angles. And then you can see again right here, here's your 4 sides and your 4 equal angles. And there's your 2 equal sides and 2 equal sides. That's your pair. All right, going on, and notice every time that we go on to the next slide, I'm clicking this arrow key. You can always, watch this, go back if you need to review something or if you made a mistake. Oh, I made a mistake. I need to go back. And I do know the difference between rows and columns. I'm going to click there and I'm going to unclick the no. And guess what? Submit. Yeah, it's that easy. Now I go on and I go on. I've already read that. I've reviewed it. And now I'm going to take a look at these shapes. Let's see. There's directions right up here in the corner. Circle the rectangles. Put an X over the other shapes. Let's start with circle the rectangles. Oh no, how do I do a circle? Oh, that's right. There's all of these wonderful little tools down here at the bottom. Let's start with this tool right here. I can change my color to my favorite color. Oh, I don't have purple. Well, I'll go with blue. Okay, we're on blue. And I just come right up in here, and I needed to do what now? I need to circle the rectangles. Did you notice what I did? I'll do it again. Okay, now I'm down here. I need to circle what? What was the question again? I don't see it. There it is. Right up there in the corner, you can click that little blue arrow key, and it'll pull that question back down. Okay? So now, circle the rectangles. So I know this is a rectangle, and I know this is a rectangle, and I know this is a rectangle, but there was a second part to that, right? So I'm not done. Let me click again. Put an X over the other shapes. Oh, well that's easy. X, that's not a rectangle, that's not a rectangle, that's not a rectangle. And we just keep going until we have completed the activity. Alright, I don't want to give too much of these answers away, so I'm going to stop giving answers from here on out. This is essentially how you complete your assignment, and you click submit, and you go on. Now there's a video. Guess what? Get your headphones ready. It's letting you know if your student needs to be wearing headphones because you're in a workspace, or you need them to be quiet because you're doing work of your own, then get their headphones ready for them. They're going to need it. There's a video involved, and it will have sound. If they don't have to have the headphones, don't worry about it and move on. You can click onto this next part, and guess what? It opens up a web page right there for you. Next, we have the video recap. Read this to your kids. Partition means to separate something into sections. Rows, columns, there's your examples. Move on. Open-ended question. Well, with an open-ended question, what this means is you're going to have to type something. So in your own words, describe the difference between rows and columns. You click into the box and you start typing your answer. You know what? Every time that I ask my students to answer an open-ended question like this, I always say use the question to start writing your answer. So the question here says, in your own words, describe the difference between rows and columns. So I would start with the end of that. I would say the difference between rows and columns is, and then I would give my answer. When I finish giving my answer, then I come down and I click submit. And, oh, there's another activity for me to do. This says partition this rectangle into 3 rows and 4 columns. And guess what? There's your tool down here. Again, what happens if the question goes away? There's that drop down caret, okay? So you can pull it back down. Let me go on. When you finish partitioning, and we know what partition means is to cut something up, to break it into parts. Well, let's just say that's the answer. If it asked me to partition it into 2 columns and then 2 rows, then this would be my answer. That is not the question. So did I get it correct? I did not. All right. It asked for 3 rows, 4 columns. I did 2 rows, 2 columns. And submit. Oh no, I got it wrong. What do I do? Click back. You realize you made a mistake. You can erase. Okay? And watch this. Look at that. I can erase everything, and I can go back and I can write the correct answer. All right? Then you would click submit, and you would go on, and then you have your quiz. Guys, this is not hard. It's very easy. How many squares are in this partitioned rectangle? What rectangle, you say? What rectangle? Why, this rectangle. carefully search your page to find it, okay? It's right there. If you click on it, you can make it big and easy to see. In order to make it go back to being small, click that X. You're good to go. When you get your answer, you select. I have no idea. I did not count it. I'm going to click A. All right? And submit. Uh-oh, I got it wrong. What can you do? Click back. See if you can answer again. I'm not going to do it again. All right? When we finish, we'll go through, we'll finish the quiz, we'll go back to rows, columns. There are how many squares in the partition rectangle? Again, you are asked to partition a rectangle and count the squares. Okay? So, each time you can draw, write, type your answer. And you know what? Let me show you that one as well. The typing your answer on this particular page looks like this. You click on the T, okay? And you can make your text larger or smaller. Then you can choose your color. And you can say, there are ... Or you can just type your number. I don't know, 1. There's 1 currently, right? There's only 1. But if I were to partition it into its rows and columns, would there be 1? No. All right, so you type your answer, and then you click submit, and you go on. Okay? I think this is a pretty easy way to go ahead and make sure that you understand how to use this program. So I'm going to skip all the way to the end of our quiz. Wait, some questions were unanswered. Well, in my case, I'm going to submit anyway. What should you do? Always go back and review those answers, and always go back and check to make sure that you got the correct answers. Always the best strategy. When you finish this part, you're either done or there will be another assignment at the end. This one right here, this particular assignment, there isn't anything else. It says thank you, goodbye, and so you can go ahead and you can close out of your window and you're done. Okay? So that's all there is to this. If you have any questions about Nearpod, give me or Miss Hall or Miss Lewis, whoever your teacher is, Miss Lee, anybody that is your teacher that you know that you can contact via email, the faculty page that I mentioned in the last tutorial, or Class Dojo, or text message. However it is that you are communicating with your teacher, if you have questions, give them a heads up. Ask that question. Screenshot if you can, because it's a lot of help for us to be able to know what is it that, or I'm sorry, what you are seeing, so that we can help you with it. All right. Thanks again, pandas. Have a great one. Be great on purpose.